Hey there, welcome back friends. In this video we will talk about URI building. Now friends, in here we have this method where we are generating the response. The response has a status code 201. We are also setting the header location, which is nice, but the header location is based on absolute path. If we check the postman, then we have this URI showroom/brands, which will give us the entire path. And based on the ID, we have also the specific path URI. So if we add slash the ID of the brand, then we also have the specific path. So we want that the location header has a specific path URI in the response. So in order to do that, we will build the response, we will build the location of the newly created resource. Alright. So whenever we try to add in a new resource in the database, for example, we try to add a new resource with the name as brand 4, for example, and everything seems to be good enough. Let me add in this resource. Then a new row has been added in the database, and in the header we have the absolute path. But the absolute path should be based on this exact resource, and the path is /showroom/brands/41, right? So here is the URI. So we don't have the specific URI properly. Let me show you the URI. Here is the URI. So we want to add /41 or slash the ID of the resource in our absolute path. Then only we can set the proper location ID. So in here, let's do that. And in order to get the proper ID, what we can do is we can simply, first of all, get the absolute path in a string. So it would be like URL equals, we can get rid of this as of now. It would be like URL, which is a string entity, equals URI dot get absolute path dot toString. Alright, so we have converted the URL, the absolute path, to string. Now what we will do is we will add in the slash ID of the resource to this URL. Now the ID must be added after this particular statement. This is important because our service layer will call in our DAO layer, and the DAO layer will add the information, and because of this annotation, Hibernate will also set the brand ID for the object itself. So this brand object will be updated. So once we update this brand object, what we will do is we will add slash the ID of the brand to this URL. In fact, it would be rather better if I cut this statement from here and paste it after the service layer's add brand method call, and directly we can concatenate the information. So it would be like plus slash, and then we will also add in brand dot get ID. Alright, so this looks good. Now the URL is good. But if we try to directly add this URL, again there would be an error. It will say it will receive a location, it will receive a URI object. So again we need to convert this string to a URI element. What is the process of it? Very simple. We will type in URI location. Location is the name of the variable, equals URI dot create. So we can in fact convert a string to a location, a URI. So in here we are converting a string to a URI, and then we will pass this location to this method, and then finally our work would be done. Now this is tedious, isn't it? We are converting things, and then we are reconverting things. We are firstly converting the absolute path to a string, then we are again converting the string to URI, and then finally we are passing in the value. This will work, but definitely this is a tedious thing, right? So is there a better way? In fact, we can replace these steps by taking help of a builder pattern. So in here, let me get rid of this location, as of now. And in here, for example, first of all, we can also get rid of this. Now let us quickly create a URI object, and this time we will do what? We will make use of get absolute path builder. Now using this builder, we can concatenate additional element, and this is very simple. There is this method by the name of path, and using this method we can add in a path. Now this path needs to be a string, and in order to add this string, we need to call in the object. We need to get the ID from this object. So it would be like brand dot get brand ID. Now friends, this brand ID will return a ID, and ID is in int format. This method will return a int value, but path receives a string. What is the solution? Convert the int to string. Way is very simple. We will call an integer static object which is available to us, and we will convert it to string. Let me quickly do that. So it would be like to string, and let me cut this part. Let me add this part to the parameter of the toString method, and this looks good. And finally we will build this particular URI. All right, and I guess everything is good. Our location has been built, and finally let us pass this location to the created method, and now finally we would be able to create a proper location header for our resource. All right, so let us quickly run this application on the web server. This will take a couple of seconds. All right, the application is up and running, and now finally let us try to post in a new resource. So in here we will post a new resource with the name as brand5. Let me add this in the database. Here we go, which is nice. Here is the response, and the most important thing is the location. Take a note of it. Perfect. The location is what? /showroom/brands/42. If I copy this particular part, the location, we get a proper URL for the exact resource. And oops, I have made a mistake. I need to send in a GET request for this URL, and here is the response. Perfect. So we are getting a perfect response from the server when we are adding a resource. Perfect. So this is it for today's video. In this video we have checked the location headers in brief, and moving forward we will check a couple of more interesting things. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.